Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadankitam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyasya cha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Stute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Hudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Shrinvatam Swagata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrut Satam. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai. So, Mataji, we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9, Dhruva Maharaj leaving to his home, right? Returning home, right? Yeah. So, verse 29. Should I recite and others will recite later, or should we follow the same?
Whatever you want, Mataji. We can also recite or we can follow you, whatever you prefer.
Yeah. I'll just recite the first verse.
Yes.
Maitreya Uvacha Matuhu Saptanyavagbanher Riddhi Vidastu Tansmaran Naischan Muktipater Muktim Tasma Tapam Upayevan. If anyone wants to recite, also can recite, please.
Hare Krishna, Vasudha Mataji, you can read the shloka and Shobha Mataji the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam Mataji. Maitreya Uvacha Matu Saptanya Vagbhanair Hridi Vidastutan Smaran Naichan Mukti Pater Muktim Tasmat Tapam Upeyivan. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji and Prabhuji. Synonymous translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maitreya answered, Dhruva Maharaja's heart, which was pierced by the arrows of the harsh words of his stepmother, was greatly aggrieved. And thus, when he fixed upon his goal of life, he did not forget her misbehavior. He did not demand actual liberation from this material world. But at the end of his devotional service, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before him, he was simply ashamed of the material demands he had in his mind. Haribol. Thank you, Mataji. Pranams.
This purport is very long purport. So we'll just move little where we can do. And first para, someone can read, and then later we'll try to.
Hare Krishna, devotees, please raise your hands for reading. Swati Mataji can read the first paragraph. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. You're reciting, Mataji, reading?
Hare Krishna. Mataji, Shanti Mataji, you said? Yeah, Swati Mataji.
Swati Mataji, Hare Krishna,
Swati
Swati Mataji, and then Shanti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
This important verse has been discussed by many stalwart commentators. Why was Dhruva Maharaj not very pleased, even after achieving the goal of life he desired? A pure devotee is always free from any kind of material desires. In the material world, one's material desires are almost demonic. One thinks of others as one's enemies, and one thinks of revenge against one's enemies. One aspires to become the topmost leader or topmost person in this material world, and thus one competes with all others. This has been described in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, as Asuric. A pure devotee has no demand from the Lord. His only concern is to serve the Lord sincerely and seriously, and he is not at all concerned about what will happen in future. In Mukunda Mala Stotra, King Kulashekara, author of the book, states his prayer, "My dear Lord, I don't want any position of sense gratification within this material world. I simply want to engage in your service perpetually." Similarly, Lord Chaitanya in his Staka also prayed, "My Lord, I do not want any amount of material wealth. I don't want any number of materialistic followers, nor I want any attractive wife to enjoy. The only thing I want is that I may engage life after life in your service." Lord Chaitanya did not pray even for mukti or liberation. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, other Mataji, Shanti Mataji, right? The second para.
Yes, Mataji, Shanti
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. In this verse, Maitreya replied to Vidura that Dhruva Maharaja, influenced by a revengeful attitude towards his insulting stepmother, did not think of mukti, nor did he know what mukti was. Therefore, he failed to aim for mukti as his goal in life. But a pure devotee also does not want liberation. He is a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord, and he does not demand anything from the Lord. This position was realized by Dhruva Maharaja when he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead present personally before him, because he was elevated to the Vasudeva platform. The Vasudeva platform refers to the stage at which material contamination is conspicuous by absence only, or in other words, where there is no question of the material modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and one can therefore see Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because on the Vasudeva platform, one can see God face to face. The Lord is also called Vasudeva.
Yeah. Mataji will little bit discuss and then go to the following paras. So what we are going to start, we are in the middle of this chapter, Dhruva Maharaj returning home, and initially Lord appeared to the Lord. He is empowering Dhruva Maharaj to speak. Dhruva sees the Lord with great ecstasy, and then Lord is touching Lord is touching Dhruva with his conch. And then now Lord started, giving him award for all his material desires he had in his heart, along with this special, devotion or prema also to him, that love of Godhead. So what he was awarded is Dhruvaloka to him, ruling for 36,000 years without any old age he will go through in that. And even when the dissolution or pralaya happens, annihilation happens, Dhruvaloka will not dissolve. So it is a spiritual world in the material world. So Uttama and Suruchi will also die in future. Now there are there are lots of enjoyment, sacrifices. He does sacrifices. Dhruva was awarded by the Lord to perform sacrifices, enjoyment of that kingdom which he was aiming for, the greater kingdom, by even greater than his great grandfather. And at the end, he is given an opportunity to remember the Lord. So there are three different things he achieved, and having gone to Dhruvaloka, he will not return again. So this is how he said, and the Lord departed. So Dhruva's displeasure and Vidura's inquiry is happened here, because Dhruva, though after he got this boon, he was not happy. He was morose. These are the verses we are trying to understand, that he was morose. The Lord gave him the whatever he desired, and he departed. Now Dhruva's displeasure and Vidura's inquiry is happening here. That Dhruva thought, I have attained this rarest thing, but he was not happy with this. So whatever he attained, he was still, this is something which we need to understand, contemplate, that a pure devotee is always free from any kind of desires. In the material world, one's material desires are almost demonic. Okay. Just a minute, Mataji, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, your
I'm
video is not visible, Mataji.
Yeah, is it visible now? I'm sorry,
No,
I
Mataji.
put off because someone came to deliver something. Sorry. So yeah, so what we are trying to understand is that Dhruva Maharaj is a pure devotee. He is always free from any kind of material desires. I mean, devotee is free from material desires. Dhruva Maharaj is contemplating, or he is morose that why he had this material desire in the first place, like that. So after everything was being awarded by the Lord, when Lord departed, this is what he is thinking in this. It's a very profound purport. Prabhupada has given beautiful explanation of this purport of what Dhruva is going through. I've attained this rarest planet, but he felt that something not so great that he desired. And Dhruva Maharaj's displeasure is there, and Vidura is inquiring Maitreya about why he is so morose like that. So what we can understand from Shrimad Bhagavatam is that it is Amala Puranam. We hear from the beginning verses of the Shrimad Bhagavatam that it is spotless Puranam. Right? And then Vedavyas has described is in the third verse, right? Anybody remember the third verse? 1.1.3.
Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam kripamukhadamrudadrava samyudam pipada bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha.
Yeah. And in second verse also he says, this third verse is the cream of the essence of all Vedic literatures is that. And then the second verse is that dharma projita kaitavaparam nirmatsaranam, non-envious characteristic is there. So this Bhagavatam, which describing about all the characteristics, this is not considered as a cheating religion, deals with exclusively with unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So throughout this spiritual material world, people approach Lord for material desires. Yeah, they know we rarely see someone approaching Lord for only spiritual desires. Yeah, so any spiritual system or any spiritual organization, it is trying to satisfy this conditioned soul for any material sense gratification is a cheating religion, cheating organization. So here we can understand from the personification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he's very much showed with his example what is written in Srimad Bhagavatam for all of us. Yeah. So like that we see even Srimati Radharani is a personification of love of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing what is written in Srimad Bhagavatam for us as Amala Puranam, and then Radharani is showing that love of Godhead is pure, and then Krishna is conquered by love. That is what we see. So in the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he is been to Puri, and then where in the Tota Gopinath temple, where Gadadhar Pandit, he was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just a lot of devotion was there when she was reciting, and torrents of nectar, the pouring of nectar is coming, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was engrossed with rapture, hearing to Gadadhar Pandit reciting Srimad Bhagavatam with full ecstasy. When he was hearing to the Dhruva Maharaj first. And he was requesting Gadadhar Pandit to repeat 100 times before going to the next chapter. He was not interested to leave this chapter. He was again and again and again hearing to that. And Lord Gauranga is Krishna himself. And he is tasting the pure devotion there and love of Srimati Radharani. And he would understand that, devotion of that, Srimati Radharani. So here what we understand that, from Bhagavad Gita, we see that in this material world, one's material desires are almost demonic, whatever material desires we may have. And we think of others as our enemies. We think we take revenge of against our enemies. Like that, one aspires to become topmost in this material world. And then when keep competing with others. These are all is there described in 16th chapter, as per Prabhupada mentioning. And now when we see here, Mataji, you can be in the first para only. And when we also hear from other context, like a pure devotee doesn't demand anything from the Lord. His only concern is to serve the Lord sincerely and seriously. He's not concerned with anything else which is going to happen in future. So, and in reference, Prabhupada is mentioning that. What is that? Mukundamala Stotra, 5th verse. He says, Nasta dharmeva navasuniche naiva kamopa bhoke. There's a beautiful verse from Mukundamala. Now, if we, I don't know if Mataji can bring it up. 5th verse of Mukundamala.
Mukundamala, 5th verse, you want, Mataji?
Yeah.
I'll try.
Nasta dharmena vasanichaye naiva kamo bhavoge yad bhavam tad bhavatu bhagavan purva karmana rupam etad partayam mama bahumatam janma janmantarepi Tatpadamburoho yugakata nischala bhaktirastu. So what Mukundama in Kulashekara also, he is praying to the Lord in this verse, but Prabhupada has described in the purport. King Kulashekara is sincerely offering his prayers to the Lord that, oh my Lord, I don't have any attachment for religiosity or accumulating wealth or enjoying sense gratification. So he is telling that everything, this all will come. Let this come as they are inevitable. They'll come to your accord with your past deeds. But I only pray for the most boon, that cherished boon, life after life, birth after birth. Let me render unflinching devotional service unto you, he says there. And then he is just meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. Like that. So the devotee's position is like that. He don't want anything about in regards to sense gratification within this material world. He simply wants to engage in the service of the Lord perpetually, eternally. Wherever he is in this planet or other planet, he is happy to do that only. We have many pastimes like that. We see Bali Maharaj is happy to do, gopis happy to go anywhere, even if that dust of their feet, giving for relieving the headache of Lord. They're happy to go to hell and serve the Lord. Just serving the Lord is the motive. Even we see from Bali Maharaj, he offered everything to the Lord and he is ready to go to hell. That's Sutala Loka, like that. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is prayed in his Shastakam verse also. Na danam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, na jagadisha kamai, right? I don't want any material wealth. I don't want any materialistic powers. I don't want any attractive wife to enjoy. Only thing I want is to engage in the service of the Lord. So this is the eternal constitutional position of the devotee. That Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed himself that he did not pray even for mukti, that is liberation. He did not pray. So that mukti devotees don't want. We also see from Damodarashtakam, that verse 4. What is that? Varam deva moksham na moksham vadim va na chainyam gruneham vare shadapiha. Right? What are the next two lines? Idam teva purnata
Sada me
Yeah, so he's also not interested in mukti. He just wanted to see that Gopala Bala form eternally. That's more beautiful form of the Lord, like that. So in this verse, Maitreya is replying to Vidura. That Vidura was thinking, why Guru Maharaj is not happy after he got everything. In the beginning, he had to, forego everything with that revengeful attitude, about towards insult. Stepmother insulted him and he was not happy. He was upset. And obviously he's not thinking about mukti, or he don't know anything about bhakti. I mean, like that. His aim is to, he failed to aim for mukti in the goal in his life, because he wanted a materialistic desire is there. But pure devotees doesn't want that. And he is a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord. The devotees doesn't demand anything from the Lord. So this Dhruva Maharaj position, when he saw Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead in front of him, he was like, he surpassed all that. Beyond the three modes, he was towards the end, when he really took the darshan of the Lord. He was elevated to the Shuddha Sattva platform, Vasudeva platform, where in that stage, all the material contamination will go. No more desires in your heart. Everything will disappear. That Krishna will help to the purification process. And then, there's no question of, we are entangled in this three modes of material nature. So then he could see the Lord. That's why he could see the Lord. So he could see face to face that Vasudeva, Lord. So Dhruva Maharaj's demand for position was so exalted that it was not even enjoyed by Lord Brahma, the great grandfather. So Supreme Lord is so affectionate to his devotees, especially is affectionate to the devotee like Dhruva Maharaj, who is rendering this devotional service in the forest at the age of 5 only. Yeah, so this, who can think about this? It's a very, very, very profound statements of Prabhupada to understand that Dhruva Maharaj approached Lord with deep affection, with the mood of, initially taking revenge upon his stepmother, but however, when he was taking revenge from stepmother, he was desiring to get that greater kingdom of great grandfather, he had a guidance from spiritual master, none other than Narada Muni. And he also had very beautiful instructions from his mother, Suniti. Suniti has told that, whatever Surichi has insulted, don't worry about it. We should not, regret, or we should not back answer, or we should not behave like how they, in someone, ill treat us. We should approach Lord and seek the answer or seek the solution. So she inspired him to go to the forest and find out from Lord Vishnu. So he was marching towards like that, and he got mercy of Narada Muni on his way. At the age of 5 years, he is deprived of everything. Lord took everything from Dhruva Maharaj, like, in the sense, his inheritance from the law, from his father. Just a simple act of sitting on his father's lap was not enjoyed by Dhruva Maharaj. So that was taken away from the Lord. And then he was, with that intention of getting greater kingdom than his great grandfather, he was moving to the forest. So then, he met spiritual master, and then he took literally at the age of 5 years, like a vanaprastha, giving up everything in that 5-year-old age only. So that, when he went, he wanted to show to his stepmother who I am. I can't get an opportunity to sit on my father's lap. I want greater kingdom than my great grandfather. This is the definitely sense of false ego coming into his attitude as a revengeful attitude. But because he submitted himself to the words of his spiritual master, Narada Muni, hearing and chanting holy names of the Lord, meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, and worshipping the Lord, he could get the mercy of the Lord like that. So he performed all the austerities with his mind and senses completely absorbed upon the Lord. And so he became pure, means purification happened in the process when he approached the Lord. And in that purification process, when he approached the Lord, that's where he could understand the devotional service, because he was doing all those 6 months. The process of devotional service, he perfected in that. So that mukti aspect got realized by him through that process. So though he approached Lord for material domination or a revengeful attitude towards his stepmother, he definitely did not approach Lord for mukti or devotional service, but he approached for material domination and revenge, but it got purified in the process of devotional service. So that Dhruva Maharaj desires are all fulfilled, all his desires, beginning from the desire of to the end desire, everything got. So beginning desire is greater kingdom, then greater grandfather, and the desire is he only wanted to render devotional service to the Lord. And he realized this is the only greatest boon that he could get. So purity or purification happened in this process. So this is the mystery that Lord offered to Dhruva Maharaj here. He fulfilled all his desires, and he gave him the topmost place in the spiritual world. So he recognized his desires, and Supreme Lord is so compassionate to his devotees that he gave everything that he wanted, but he also took away something in he took away everything, and he made him to completely surrender to the Lord with intense prayer, like that. So Mataji, can we start reading from the next para?
Yes, Mataji. Sudha Mataji, you can call out names.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back.
Hare Krishna Mataji, shall I read Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Suma Mataji, you can read the next paragraph, and then Padma Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Suma Mataji, you can read the next. Yes, Mataji.
Can
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, you are audible. Suma Mataji, I could hear you.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaj's demand was for a position so exalted that it was never enjoyed even by Lord Brahma, his great grandfather. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is so affectionate and kind towards his devotee, especially to a devotee like Dhruva Maharaj, who went to render devotional service in the forest alone at the age of only 5 years. That although the motive might be impure, the Lord does not consider the motive. He is concerned with the service. But if a devotee has a particular motive, the Lord directly or indirectly knows it, and therefore he does not leave the devotee's material desires unfulfilled. These are some of the special favors done by the Lord to a devotee. Shall I continue or stop, Mataji? Dhruva Maharaja was offered Dhruvaloka, a planet that was never resided upon by any conditioned soul. Even Brahma, although the topmost living creature within this universe, was not allowed to enter the Dhruvaloka. Whenever there is a crisis within this universe, the demigods go to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu, and they stand on the beach of the milk ocean. So the fulfillment of Dhruva Maharaj's demand, a position more exalted than that of even his great-grandfather Brahma, was offered to him. Hare Krishna. Padma Mataji, you can continue.
Padma Mataji, you can continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here in this verse, the Lord is described as Muktipati, which means one under whose lotus feet there are all kinds of mukti. There are 5 kinds of mukti: Sayujya, Sarupya, Shalokya, Samipaya, and Sasti. Out of these 5 muktis, which can be achieved by any person engaged in devotional service to the Lord, the one which is known as Sayujya is generally demanded by Mayavadi philosophers. They demand to become one with the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord. In the opinion of many scholars, the Sayujya Mukti, although counted among the 5 kinds of Mukti, is not actually Mukti, because From Sayuja Mukti, one may again fall down to this material world. This information we have from Shrimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32, wherein it is said, Palanti Adha, which means they again fall down. The monist philosopher, after executing severe austerity, merges into the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. But the living entity always wants reciprocation of loving affairs. Therefore, although the monist philosopher is elevated to the status of being one with the effulgence of the Lord, because there is no facility for associating with the Lord and rendering service unto Him, he again falls into this material world. And this service propensity is satisfied by materialistic welfare activities like humanitarianism, altruism, and philanthropy. There are many instances of such fall downs, even for great sannyasis in the Mayavadi school. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Now somebody else can read.
Hare Krishna, can I
Hare
read,
Krishna.
Mataji? I'll read. Hare Krishna. Therefore, Vaishnava
Yes,
philosophers
Mataji,
do
Shilpa
not.
Mataji.
Therefore, Vaishnava philosophers do not accept Sayujya Mukti to be within their category of Mukti. According to them, Mukti means transferal of to the loving service of the Lord from one's position of serving Maya. Lord Chaitanya also says in this connection that the constitutional position of a living entity is to render service to the Lord. That is the real mukti. When one is situated in his original position, giving up artificial positions, he is called mukta or liberated. In the Bhagavad Gita, that this is confirmed. Anyone who engages in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord is considered to be mukta or brahma bhuta. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that a devotee is considered to be on the Brahma Bhuta platform when he has no material contamination. In the Padma Puran, this is also confirmed. Mukti means engagement in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Mataji, should I
Hare
continue
Krishna
or there's
Mataji.
somebody?
Rohini Mataji is there, and then Sharmila Mataji is there. Hare Krishna.
The great sage Maitreya explained that Dhruva Maharaja did not desire in the beginning to engage in the service of the Lord, but he wanted an exalted position better than his great grandfathers. This is more or less not service to the Lord, but service to the senses. Even if one gets the position of Brahma, the most exalted position in this material world, he is a conditioned soul. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says that if one is elevated to real pure devotional service, he considers even great demigods like Brahma and Indra to be on an equal level with an insignificant insect. The reason is that an insignificant insect has a desire for sense gratification, and even a great personality like Lord Brahma also wants to dominate the material nature. Sense gratification means domination over material nature. The whole competition between conditioned souls is based on domination of this material nature. Modern scientists are proud of their knowledge because they are discovering new methods to dominate the laws of material nature. They think that this is the advancement of human civilization. The more they can dominate the material laws, the more advanced they are. Dhruva Maharaja's propensity in the beginning was like that. He wanted to dominate this material world in a greater position than Lord Brahma. Therefore, elsewhere it is described that after the appearance of the Lord, when Dhruva Maharaja thought and compared his determination to his final reward, he realized that he wanted a few particles of broken glass, but instead he had received many diamonds. As soon as he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, he immediately became conscious of the unimportance of his demand from the Lord to have an exalted position better than Lord Brahma's. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Sharmila Mataji? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, you continue.
When Dhruva Maharaja became situated on the Vasudeva platform, due to seeing the Lord face to face, all his material contamination was cleared. Thus, he became ashamed of what his demands were and what he had achieved. He was very much ashamed to think that although he had gone to Madhuvana, giving up the kingdom of his father, and he had gotten a spiritual master like Narada Muni, he was still thinking of revenge against his stepmother and wanted to occupy an exalted post within this material world. These were the causes for his moroseness, even after he received all the desired benedictions from the Lord. When Dhruva Maharaja factually saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there was no question of a revengeful attitude towards his stepmother, nor any aspiration to lord it over the material world. But the Supreme Personality is so kind that he knew that Dhruva Maharaja wanted these. Speaking before Dhruva Maharaja, he used the word Vedaham, because when Dhruva Maharaja demanded material benefits, the Lord was present within his heart and so knew everything. The Lord always knows everything a man is thinking. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita also. Vedaham samatitani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The Lord fulfilled all Dhruva Maharaj's desires. His revengeful attitude towards his stepmother and stepbrother was satisfied. His desire for a more exalted position than that of his great grandfather was also fulfilled, and at the same time, his eternal position in Dhruva Loka was fixed. Although Dhruva Maharaj's achievement of an eternal planet was not conceived of by him, Krishna thought, what will Dhruva do with an exalted position within this material world? Therefore, he gave Dhruva the opportunity to rule this material world for 36,000 years with unchangeable senses and the chance to perform many great sacrifices and thus become the most reputed king within this material world. And after finishing with all this material enjoyment, Dhruva would be promoted to the spiritual world, which includes the Dhruva Loka. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for reading. So what we are trying to understand is that Supreme Lord is so compassionate to his devotees, though he takes away everything from them, but he understands their desire in their heart. He'll provide it and let them, purify in the process, and they get to the stage of bhakti where they will understand the Supreme Lord and completely in the intensity of prayers, means in the mood of surrenderance is so complete that they don't want anything else other than serving the Lord. So we hear from Kunti Maharani prayers also in the Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 26 and 27. Kunti Maharani says, no, Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribir Edamana Midakunam Naivarhati Abidatum Vai Tum Akinchana Gocharam. So he says, neither the wealth, nor the education, nor the beauty, nor the high parentage. You will not approach the Lord with all these things. You will only approach the Lord easily only by material impoverishment. So as long as too much affection or attachment to this material wealth is there, you can't be able to reach the Supreme Lord. Materially impoverishment is the only one where you can approach to the Lord by sincere feelings will happen only in that state. Up till that state, you won't be able to approach the Lord. So this is Kunti Maharani is also confirming there. And in the next verse, 27th verse, if you can see, there she is also confirming in 8th chapter of 1st canto, 27th verse. What is she saying? That that Lord is actually becoming a property of those devotees. Namo kinchana vittaya nivritta guna vittaye vrittaye atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namaha. Right? So she says that you are the property of those materially impoverished. And then though Lord has got nothing to do with actions and reactions of this, of all of us in this material world, he is aloof from all these material modes of nature. He is self-satisfied, but he is very compassionate to his devotees. He understands what they want, and accordingly he will reward them. And the purification also happens by the time when they receive this reward. They after finishing everything, they will definitely focus completely with sincere feelings on the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, like that. So where we see, Dhruva Maharaj, Lord took everything from Dhruva Maharaj. Doing a Kshatriya, Dhruva Maharaj, being a Kshatriya, Dhruva Maharaj lost everything. In the sense, like it's a dishonor for him to be not able to be part of the kingdom, or not able to sit on his father's lap. It's a dishonor for him. So for a Kshatriya, they are happy to die in a battlefield, but they could not, they cannot tolerate the dishonor. Dishonor is like equal to death for them. So when they are living beings. So Krishna says this to Arjuna also in Bhagavad Gita, that dishonor is something which they are not able to accept. So this is what Dhruva Maharaj when they approached Lord, he didn't had any devotional service, but when we eventually he got to that point. So when sometimes Krishna, actually literally Kshatriya would be happy to die in the battlefield, right? So but he will not tolerate dishonor. But when sometimes Krishna punishes, but not dishonor them totally also. He will, it is like, we see in the case of Ashwatthama, instead of killing him, Krishna actually dishonored him. Right? You all know, isn't it, what happened to Ashwatthama?
Yes, Mataji.
So it's like that. And in the case of Rukmi, brother of Rukmini also, he wanted to kill, but when he attacked, but Rukmini didn't want his brother to be killed. So then what did he do? He cut his hair, he cut his mustache, he looked like a foolish person, like that. It is worse than death for him, like that. So he could not bear the insult or tolerate with the dishonor. Similar thing happened to Jarasandha. Jarasandha also was attacked. 17 times he was attacked and he was defeated. And he decided to commit suicide also. Then with his other demonic friends, they told him or encouraged him to keep on doing. And then he got attached to get his honor back, and he start fighting with Krishna, like that. So similarly, Dhruva Maharaj was also dishonored. He actually, Lord took everything from him, and he took his possession, his property from the father. He went to jungle in that age of 5 years, as exactly like leading a Vanapasta life, and he surrendered to the Lord. He became purified. So like that. But Lord, the reason Dhruva Maharaj is feeling morose here, that why did he had this material contamination in the beginning? I wish I would have asked for the Lord devotion service only. This is a broken pieces of glasses. What I have asked is feeling like that. So, but Lord knows that Dhruva Maharaj will be spiritually responsible and serve the Lord. The reason for the Lord giving, Mataji, you are moving somewhere. Hi Krishna, Mataji.
I'm sorry, Mataji. There's something happening on my laptop. I am not.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
Shilpa Mataji, can I take over if you don't mind?
Yes, Mataji, because I'm at that bar. This finger thingy is not working, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
let me
Mataji,
take over.
please. Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Mataji.
No problem.
Some issue with the laptop.
I wanted to go to 29, a little bit of last paras.
Mataji, you are on mute. You are on mute, Mataji.
Yeah. You've gone to 30th, 29th. It's 28th.
Hare Krishna Mataji, 4-9, they have to select 4-9.
9,
Yes,
it's 4-8.
Yeah.
Rohini Mataji, it's 4-8.
Yeah. So here, what we are trying to understand is that the Lord is rewarding everything. So we see the Mataji, go to the I think the before verse.
Before this, Mataji, before the last paragraph?
Before this, yeah.
This one? When Dhruva Maharaj?
Yeah. Initially, Dhruva was, revengeful attitude. He went. He has no aspiration to seek out Lord's mercy. He is only aspired to get greater kingdom of that. And one might think, oh no, how come Lord actually gave the material boon to him? He understood the spiritual, the understanding of surrendering to the Lord and everything. How come Lord gave this material boon to him? Like, here it is said, the Lord desire, revengeful attitude towards his stepmother is there, and step brother was satisfied. His desire for exalted position, that his great grandfather was fulfilled. At the same time, his eternal position in Dhruvaloka is also fixed. So the achievement of this eternal planet is not conceived by him. That Dhruva Maharaj is not. And then how come Dhruva Maharaj will be with an exalted position within this material world like that? So he gave the opportunity to rule this material world for 36,000 years without any disturbance to his senses. He could perform that as a devotional service only. That 36,000 ruling of this material world, he performed like a devotional service only. So that he will, after that, he will get what he wanted, and then he will be there forever. So the Lord actually given that opportunity to Dhruva Maharaj of this spiritual world is because that he will not be disturbed. He will be matured devotee. He is spiritually responsible. He will not be materially affected. So like that he gave. So if you think about in this material world, if someone gets a position like this, they will be puffed up. And they will be loading over material nature more and more. They will dominate others. They will be attached to the position. They will not have that service attitude. But Dhruva Maharaj, being that ruler of this, he is going to rule that greater kingdom of his great grandfather, which is not even in this material world. Brahma Loka is in this material world, but Dhruva Loka is a Vaikuntha planet in this material world. He received the best of the both in this world. But he used everything for Krishna pleasure. That is the important aspect. So after receiving this, he was feeling ashamed and he was unhappy, morose. Why did he had this desire of this material thing initially? Why did I was so selfish? But Lord was still merciful to a person who is egoistic in the beginning. Later, without any selfish desires, purification happened. So this material affluence will be given, or good qualities or good position will be given to someone who is spiritually matured and who will not ruin them. That is what is Dhruva Maharaj received. So they start, accepting the role for the pleasure of the Lord. That 36,000 years ruling is for the pleasure of the Lord. He is doing as a devotional service only. So in performing that eternal position, he achieved as becoming servant of the servant of the servant in the spiritual world. So we have to, like, in a position, whatever position we have in this material world, our situation should be Trinadapi Sunichena, Tararopi Sahishuna. We have to tolerate like a tree situated in a humble state of mind, like a straw in the street, and to be able to offer respect to everyone and not expect anything in return from anyone. And this is our this will help us to continue in our spiritual progress. However, if a person is not endeavoring for all this, they will not realize, and they start identifying with their particular role, position, and everything. The material conditioning will increase, whether whichever ashram they are or whichever material condition they are, like that. So person who is like in that position, Dhruva Maharaj is having the opportunity to rule this material world. Dhruva Maharaj had that complete purification that is untouched with any of these senses to enjoy, though Lord gave this opportunity to rule in the end. But even so many reasons were there for him to seek out the Lord's mercy. Nothing actually made him to lose the Lord's mercy. He got the mercy of the Lord no matter whatever he was doing. Yeah. So if you see that last but one, the second paragraph, Mataji, if you can move a little bit ahead in front. Yeah. No. Go a little bit up, Mataji. Yeah, so stop, Mataji, here. When Dhruva Maharaj became situated on Vasudeva platform, due to seeing the Lord face to face, all his material contamination was cleared. And he became ashamed that, oh, why these demands were there in my heart in the beginning, actually. He was ashamed for that. And then he was very much ashamed to think that although he had gone to Madhuvan, giving up the kingdom of his father, he had gotten spiritual master like Narada Muni, still thinking of against a stepmother, he is taking revenge. I wanted to occupy all this. These are the causes for his being moroseness, even after he received the desire for benediction from the Lord. See, when a devotee goes to the higher platform, he will understand. That is why they will not get affected with any of those unwanted desires. Everything will be clean in their heart. Unwanted desires will not affect them anymore. Yeah. So this is the important aspect, that a pure devotee who has reached to the sattva platform, he'll know that regrets what he had done, and he will have a good realization, and then accordingly he will not make any mistakes. He will be spiritually very matured and spiritually very what is that, responsible to take up the task. And Lord knows that. That's why he will fulfill material desire also, but at the same time he will give him the spiritual accomplishments. Like that, Dhruva Maharaj was dejected, but he was given an opportunity to rule this material world. Yeah. So, and the Krishna is so compassionate that however we take shelter of him, he will reward accordingly. So, Yayatamam prapadyante is there, no? If you think of being your proud, or if you approach Lord with proud, or feeling of doership or independent nature, you will make only show of doing your sadhana. Chanting the holy names will not be proper. It will only a ritualistic way. But Dhruva Maharaj was actually crying out in a helpless state. The purpose was not so great, but his helpless state is very, very matured. So then Narada Muni gave the process, and then by following that, gradually his mood, his motive become Krishnaized. He was not interested in any material thing. So he became actually pure like that, and he understood that why he should rule this kingdom, entire world, and then how he can become servant of the Lord later, and then he will only serve the Lord with pure bhakti, like that. Yeah. So this is important aspect, and we see from Srila Prabhupada's example also like that. Srila Prabhupada lost everything. And when he lost everything, he was not regretting, or he was not morose. He was, in fact, everything was falling apart, but he was a little bit feeling himself, okay, whatever happens, it's a Lord's mercy only. And it took as a special mercy. And when he actually started Vanaprastha, he was very poor. He was penniless. He gave everything to his family to have their own lifestyle properly. Like that, many Goswamis or god brothers of Prabhupada, all the acharyas, they are mentioned about this. When Prabhupada was approaching them, he was not even having proper clothes, torn clothes he was having, but he was very happy with any situation he was in. He was never complained, and he was always begging to the Lord for all the conditioned souls, fallen conditioned souls relievement. Just like how Prahlad Maharaj begged to Nasim Bhagwan, that he is more worried about all these conditioned souls in this material world, and all of them should go back to material world, spiritual world, like that, asking them the chance for going back to the spiritual world. This is what Prabhupada also did. Everything, going in the cargo ship, he had nothing, only he had the treasure of Krishna and Krishna Bhakti only. He left everything. And then he went there, and afterwards he had so many temples, and each temple has got expenses of every day up to maybe 30 lakhs, like that. But he remains same in every situation. Similar like Narada Muni, he was preaching across the globe, traveling almost 12 times in a special aeroplanes, or devotees taking him in a expensive car and all that. He enjoyed everything, but still his mood was to serve the Lord, and he always preached the same thing. You become servant of the Lord, and whatever he did, he attributed to the Lord and to his Guru Maharaj, but he never took upon himself that credit. So same attitude we see from pastime of Srila Prabhupada also. So Krishna gives everything to Dhruva Maharaj. Incredible opulence, which is unknown to Lord Brahma also, that he never enjoyed or allowed for Brahma also, like that. And Dhruva Maharaj never felt proud, even after getting this benediction of that Dhruva Loka, and the Lord fulfilled all his egoistic desires. Still, like that. So Prabhupada's statements are very profound in this purport. The mood is important, mood of serving the Lord is important. When Dhruva Maharaj left to the forest, his mood is to get something, but mood was more surrendered mood, selfless mood, approaching Lord to find out that thing was there. So he is his process, in the process he got purified. So he followed his spiritual master, and all the instructions, they taken it up seriously, sincerely accepted that, and served in that mood, and like that he became a sincere devotee and served the Lord. So sincerity is important to serve the Lord. And then Krishna reciprocates. Lust, envy, greed, proud, anger, all should be gone. So in pure devotee's heart, nothing will be there, like that, because we constantly take association of the devotees, like that. Dhruva Maharaj is a true Vaishnava, pure Vaishnava. And he was ashamed that he wanted a position and power. For that he was ashamed, but Krishna gave everything because he's sincere. He accepted everything, even that greater position, for the pleasure of the Lord only. So profit, adoration, distinction is not there to Dhruva Maharaj. In that situation, Lord will give everything. How he gave to Prabhupada and how he gave to many Prabhupada disciples. They are accomplishing without any tinge of desire or proud in their heart. Accepting everything for the pleasure of the Lord and as it is sanctioned and desired, like that. So real devotee never want to be glorified, whatever he has done also. That Dhruva Maharaj, 36,000 years ruled, he was never wanted to be glorified. They don't like to, like that. So they don't seek any liberation also. Real essence of mukti is pure devotion service. So that is there. So mukti is not for devotees. Bhakti is for devotees. Yeah. Yeah. So he got a Krishna prema in the end. That is the essence of this purport. Even when we see about what is mukti and bhakti, mukti immediately induces hate and fear. That fear of impersonalists merging into Brahman, will we attain or not? Bhakti will naturally relieve us from this. It is completely blissful. Whatever service we do, forgetting about all our material things in this world, it's so blissful state, like that. Yeah. So that's important. Yeah. So shall we go to the next one, Mataji? I think we're supposed to do the next one also. It is shorter one, but we'll try to finish.
Hare Krishna, Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read the shloka. Archana Mataji, the translation, and Anita Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Pranams Prabhu.
Dhruva uvacha samadhina na eka bhavena yatpadam viduho sananda adayaha urdhvaretasah masaihi aham षड्भिः amushya padayoh chayam upetya apagatah पृथक् मतिः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी, प्रणाम माताजी.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaja thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of Lord is not an ordinary task, because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practiced Ashtanga Yoga in trance, attained the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months, I achieved the same result. Yet, due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Dhruva Maharaj himself explains the cause of his moroseness. First, he laments that to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly is not easy. Even great saintly persons like the 4 celebrated brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara practice the yoga system for many, many births and remained in trance before getting the opportunity to see the Supreme Lord face to face. As far as Dhruva Maharaj was concerned, he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally after only 6 months of practice in devotion service. He expected, therefore, that as soon as he met the Supreme Lord, the Lord would take him to his abode immediately without waiting. Dhruva Maharaj could understand very clearly that the Lord had offered him the rule of the world for 36,000 years because in the beginning he was under the spell of the material energy and wanted to take revenge against his stepmother and rule over his father's kingdom. Dhruva Maharaj greatly lamented his propensity for ruling the material world and his revengeful attitude towards other living entities. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so this is a further explanation of in this verse what Dhruva Maharaj, moroseness is informed here. He laments to see the Lord directly is not easy, and then like he's explaining how 4 Kumaras they had to take many births to get the mercy of the Lord. So Dhruva Maharaj got only in 6 months with his pure devotion service under the instruction of his Guru Maharaj, fully accepting in complete dedication, determination. And then he could meet the Lord and he see, without waiting, he got that mercy. So that he is so happy that Dhruva Maharaj could understand that mood that Lord offered him to rule this 36,000 years. If after ruling, then he will just be away from material entanglement or spell of Maya, so that he will not have any more inhibitions of all this taking revenge on his stepmother or ruling father's kingdom, having like that. He lamented that this propensity of ruling this material world and revengeful attitude, which is also whatever mistakes he has done, he got the opportunity to correct, and he understood that this is something which is not required for us, and only pure devotional service, and then attitude of serving the Lord eternally is what he understood, and he surrendered, and he was able to continue to be in that mood of surrendering to the Lord as a servant of the Lord. So that is why he got that opportunity. Yeah. So that's it, Mataji's. So I think we are supposed to do only these 2 verses, right, today? Are you able to hear me, Mataji's?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Narayani Mataji is not on the call. She
In
would know.
live stream, it is
So
told
anyone
that
has got anything else to ask or share, or anything you didn't understood, or
Hare Krishna Mataji.
yeah.
I just wanted to ask Mataji, like Dhruva Maharaj's stepmother, because somehow became the reason for Dhruva Maharaj to get out of the house and search for the Lord. So does she also get some amount of Sukruti, Mataji, Agnata Sukruti?
Yeah, actually, it is there in one of the purports. I think I did read that later whole family gets some mercy, though she became the cause of him to go to the forest. Dhruva Maharaj was not revengeful attitude after he understood what he did the mistake. So both of them, he also looked after his brother. He fought against his brother with yakshas, right? So I'm sure she would have got, but I don't have the reference to share now, Mataji. I would provide it. I remember reading, but I would need to go back for that. I don't remember exactly which purport and where, but I will share it once I know. No, in this chapter only, I will share it, Mataji. In the next few verses, it might come, but I will share it in the group.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Is it that that Vikarma, what she did, Mataji, like sinful activity, what she did was that. So because of her, he had to go to the forest. But that became like a blessing also. He could see the Supreme Lord, Mataji. So I just want.
Yeah, because of her actions, of course, he could got the opportunity to see the Lord. So first thing what she did was that one offense she did. Actually, she did an offense. One offense. What is that she did? Is that she was so proud, and she wanted him to take birth in his womb so that he can sit on his father's lap. So that is the greatest offense she committed. So for that offense, she will definitely go through the reaction. Yeah, so she can't think about her to be so great that she has to take the Dhruva Maharaj has to take birth in her womb to get the mercy. So that is there, Mataji. So
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, what is the learning point for us, Mataji? Like a takeaway point for us, because Dhruva Maharaj was revengeful for about his stepmother and stepmother.
yeah,
Because of that, it is a sin or something like that. Or else, if he had not been revengeful, if he had what to say, Mataji, forgiven her.
yeah.
So how that would be, Mataji? Like she would get the blessings or something like that. How it is, Mataji? Like I'm not able to understand how one.
See, Dhruva Maharaj was only a little child, 5-year-old. So 5-year-old will not have the maturity to forgive. So if he would be in a state of forgiveness, then Dhruva Maharaj would, this whole scenario will be totally different. Yeah, so we can't expect a small child to understand if a elder is not behaving properly, right?
Yes, Mataji, for us
And
actually would be forgiving for everybody of
yeah,
everyone.
so when we take in a normal situation, if a small child makes some mistakes, the parents or the guide or instructor or teacher will forgive. If the teacher make a mistake, child will not forgive, right? Child will not think about forgiveness only. And Dhruva Maharaj was not a devotee to forgive in the first instance, right?
Yes,
We are
Mataji.
talking about a devotee should be like that. But Dhruva Maharaj was just a small child. He's not even a devotee at that time. He came to know about the process later through the mercy of his mother Suniti. He couldn't understand. He just without any information, blank situation, he been to forest, just believing his mother's instructions, full faith on mother's instruction. And then Narada Muni realized, oh, this small boy, and he chastised him. You go to your kingdom. What are you going to do in the dense forest? He will scare him that that lion will come, or a bear will come, or snakes will be there. They will devour you. Why are you going? You have a royal kingdom. Go and enjoy. He was very determined to go. With mother's instruction, he took it seriously.
Yes, Mataji.
Very
Mataji.
determined.
Thank you,
Like that.
Mataji.
So he's not a devotee, right? So to forgive or tolerate is a small child.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Got it. Hare Krishna. Pronounced.
Is there anything else, Matajis?
Hare Krishna, no, Mataji, I don't see any raised hands.
I can't hear you, Mataji.
There are no raised hands, Mataji, so there are no questions as of now. Can we end the class with prayers?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your
Thank
association.
you, and apologize. There's some disturbance in between. I had some unwanted people approaching at the door, so I'm sorry.
No problem, Mataji. Hari bol. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya अनंत कोटि वैष्णव ग्रंथराज भागवत की जय. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for giving this opportunity. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.